Zahir sir.
Sir.
Sir, we will start, sir. They will join. No issue.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, right.
So good morning, everyone. I think my screen is visible. Can confirm, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So I think in the last 2 days, you have been taught with the concepts of the Django framework and how to create various elements in the Django framework. So I think all of us are familiar now with what is a Django framework, how we can develop the applications using Django framework. So today I'll be because we have 2 sessions today, so we will be covering 2 important things related to this application development. So in the afternoon session, I will be discussing the application, a practical application, and how we can build a web interface, an application, a website for a practical machine learning example we will take. Okay, so we will take one very common application that we see everywhere, that is how to detect the false news or the false information when compared to the original or good news. Okay, so authentical news. Okay, so false news or false news detection will be seeing with respect to the respect to natural language processing. Okay, so NLP, using NLP, how we can detect the fraud news or fraudulent information. So that application we will see in the afternoon session. Okay, but today in the morning session we will be covering another very important topic related to the application development, that is the creation of GUI. Okay, so how to create graphical user interfaces, graphical user interfaces using this Python coding. Okay, and how we can bind this GUI, whatever we have developed, into the web interfacing or into the web application. Okay, so I think writing just a code, Python code, and running it on the console might look okay, but you would definitely, right, as a developer, we would definitely want a nice GUI platform for our application, so that it can be used by anybody, any person who doesn't know even how to write the program. Okay, so this is what right, a GUI is all about. GUI is graphical user interface, all of us know. So how can we create a graphical user interface? Now we are using so many GUIs in our mobiles, right, laptops, everywhere, right? You have an MP3 player, you have a video player, or you can have, right, a simple calculator, okay, a dial pad. All these are GUIs, okay, where in background there is a lot of code running, right? But in the foreground, it is simplified and presented as a simple application to the user. Okay, so how can we create these GUI interfaces in the Python? Okay, and later on we will see how to bind them, right, or how to integrate them with the Django framework or Django tool. Okay, so first of all, we will be discussing about the GUI. Okay, so any GUI, if you take any graphical user interface, right, creation. So GUI creation basically will have 3 important parts. Okay, so 3 important parts will be present in a GUI interface. Okay, so first part or the first component is basically a container basically we call it them as containers or the layout. Okay, so containers or layout are the first component that are present in any GUI interface. Okay, so this is the first, right? So they basically define the structure or the layout of the graphical user interface that you want to create. Okay, so the basic structure or the geometrical shape of the GUI is defined with the help of these containers or layouts. Okay, so this is first element. Then we have a main function or a main loop. Okay, so which is what is responsible for doing this, right? Which is what responsible for performing the operations. Okay, so basically it has three tasks. It will perform three important tasks. Okay, so we'll discuss that. Okay, so the second element is a main loop. Okay, and third element are the widgets. Okay, so the widgets in the GUI, or you can say the components in the GUI. Okay, so components in your GUI interface. So these are the three main elements or three main components that are present in any GUI. Okay, if you take any graphical user interface, these are the three we have. Okay, so containers or layout. Just a second. Okay, so containers or layout is the first element. Then we have the main loop. Okay, so main loop or the main function, as we can call, and then we have widgets components. So if you want to develop a GUI in Python, then these are the three components that are required to understand and required for building the GUI. Okay, yeah. So first of all, what are the containers? Okay, so when we talk about containers, so what is a container? Okay, so if you look at the first thing, so container, or as I said, the layout, okay, basically defines the structure of the GUI. Okay, how does a GUI looks like? What should be its structure? Okay, so it defines the structure of the GUI. Okay, so how should your GUI look like? Okay, so there are four types of structures that are supported in Python. Okay, so these four are first type of layout is called as float layout. Okay, so float layout. Okay, the four layout structures that are supported in Python. So we have grid layout. Okay, second is grid layout, right? Third we have is the box layout. Okay, box layout, and finally the fourth one that we have is the anchor layout. Okay, anchor layout. So these are the four different layout methods or layout functions that are supported in Python. Okay, so float, right, grid, box, and anchor. Okay, so the box layout is also called as the pack layout, pack layout. So the two most widely used ones are grid and pack. Okay, so grid layout and pack layout, or the box layout, is these are the two which are most widely used in the industry. So the other layouts are also used, where in the floating layout, each widget will be configured as a floating window, a separate pop-up window, right? And when you click something, you create or you open a floating window, right? A pop-up window, and all the widget will be working in that. Okay, so that kind of method is what we call it as a floating method. Whereas grid layout is one in which, right, all the widgets will be arranged in the form of a grid that is like this. So some rows and columns. Okay, so you arrange everything, right? Your graphical user interface, all the components will be, or the widgets will be arranged in the form of a box. Okay, in the form of a table, right, like this. Okay, rows and columns. Whereas if you take the box or packing layout, so in this, right, okay, so all the widgets will be arranged on the corners of the box like this. So the widgets will be arranged at the corners or the boxes, okay, which we call it as a packing, right? So packing type of arrangement. And anchor method is creating a a layout in which a list of one-dimensional, right, like this. So anchor basically is like a C type, it goes on building, right, embedding all the widgets one after the other. Okay, so this is all the different types of layouts that you can have in types your GUI. So these are the four structures. So first thing is, so in whenever you want to create a GUI, you first need to configure your layout. Okay, so which type of layout you want to use. Okay, whether you want to use floating layout, grid, box, or anchor. Okay, so based on that, we will do the geometry arrangement and all. Okay, right. So the second component, or the second step that we have, okay, this the second component in the GUI interface that we have is the main loop. Okay, or the main function, as they call it, main loop or the main function. So main loop, right, basically performs the three important tasks. Okay, what, right, it will perform three important operations or tasks. So what are those? Okay, let's see. So first important task that it does is, so it first captures the events. Okay, so it captures the events. Okay, event here means any input from the user. Okay, so event basically refers to an input from the user. So it waits for the users, right? For the it continuously, right, is you call this as main loop because it is running continuously. It is in a loop, right? So whenever the app is installed, it is, right, whenever the GUI is made running, so this loop will be continuously executing. Okay, and it will wait for the event occurrence of event. What is the event here? Event is the input from the user. Okay, that input can be a value or in terms of any button press, anything. Okay, so right, the first thing is it will be running continuously and it will wait for the event. So that's called as a capturing of the event. So one is the first important task. Then the second, it implements, right, once the event occurs. Okay, let's say once the event once the user has done something. Okay, then what it does, then, right, it has to implement the logic, right? So whatever the operation that has been intended by the user, so that is done or that is performed with the help of that is initiated by the main loop. Okay, so it will start the implementation of the logic, whatever function that user has created. So implementation of the logic is done. Okay, and right, then thirdly, it will refresh the right windows or refresh the GUI. Okay, so refreshment of the windows. So you update whatever the output information that you got. Okay, so these are the three operations mainly it performs. Okay, so first it captures the occurrence of any event. Okay, and then second, it implements, right, the logic that is required, and fourth and third, okay, it refreshes the window of the GUI and updates the results. Okay, so these are the three operations that this main loop is carrying out. So basically main loop is the central element of any GUI. Okay, so it's a one that take care of all the things. Okay, right. Then widgets. Okay, the third component that we have is the widgets component. Okay, widgets or components. Okay, so these are the individual functions that you have. Okay, that you take. There are, right, okay, so many widgets supported in Python. Okay, so some of them that we are going to use will be like label, okay, entry, right? So label, entry, and buttons, radio buttons, menu items. Okay, all the, right, whatever the components that you want to see, you want to use in your GUI are called as widgets. Okay, so these widgets support the graphical interaction between the user and the Python language or Python software or the computer, you could say. Okay, so widgets are the basic elements which provides the interaction between the user and the, right, the computer. Okay, so they will, right, once they are executed, they will perform a certain action that they are intended. Okay, so these are the three components that are required in order to build a GUI. Okay, a graphical user interface. Right, so let us right, go further. Yeah, so in Python, okay, in Python we have so many ways for creating GUIs. Okay, graphical user interface can be created using many ways. So the commonly used frameworks or the commonly used GUI libraries, GUI frameworks in Python, right, are Okay, so the frameworks that we use in Python for the graphical user interface are, so one is tkinter. So I think many of us know this library or framework, which is tkinter or tkinter, okay, whichever the way it is called. So this is a library that is useful for creating graphical user interface. Then we can also have another very popular framework that is used for GUI is Kiwi. Okay, so Kiwi framework. So Kiwi framework is also very extensively used. It also supports a lot of graphical user interface options. And then another one that we have is PyQt5. PyQt5 is another framework that is often used for building the graphical user interface. Okay, so there are many other such frameworks, but these are the three that are most widely used in the Python domain. Okay, so today we will be discussing about how we can build graphical user interface using tkinter. Okay, so tkinter, because that is the most commonly used library, okay, or framework. So we will be discussing about that tkinter, and we'll see a couple of applications, practical applications, okay, of how to build a simple graphical user interface, for any Python program that we write. Okay, so we can build, so this is like a front end. Okay, GUI is basically your front end, you can build a front end interface for any program that you wish, and make the execution more interactive. Okay, so it's like packaging. Okay, yeah. So let us go ahead and let us see how we can run how we can do it practically. Okay, so I'll show you firstly how we can create a simple interface. Okay, and then we'll take a couple of examples, for building this, and then let's see how it goes. Okay, yeah. So let me open. Yeah, okay. Let's not. Yeah. So let me open the PyCharm. Okay, so I have opened my PyCharm. Yeah. So I take my new project. Let me take a new project here. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so yeah, so file, a new project. I'll go to the new project. Yeah, any clarifications or doubts till now? Is there anything that requires more explanation? Yeah. Okay, so let's build a simple things. Okay, so for this, I take this project name as GUI app. Okay, so this is my project name, so GUI app. Okay, so you can do the coding using command prompt as well, so no issues. You can choose whatever the way, or you can even use the Jupyter Anaconda platform as well. Okay, whichever the IDE you are comfortable, you can go ahead. So yeah, I'm using PyCharm. Okay, so this is my PyCharm, okay, let me take a new file. So let me take a new file, Python file I want. I'm giving the name as my GUI app. My GUI app. So yeah, just a name. So this is the blank Python file. Okay, so as I said, first thing, if you want to create a GUI app, okay, so you require the main component is the main loop. Okay, so you need to have a main loop function for creating the GUI. Okay, so it can be any framework that you use, whether you are using tkinter or Kiwi or PyQt5. The process is same. Okay, you have to take first a main loop, and inside that you have to start writing your code. Okay, so for this yeah, so as I said, I'm going to use tkinter library. So I'm using tkinter. So first I need to download the tkinter, so import it. So from tkinter, okay, so tkinter is there, so I'll take it and then import. Okay, so we want to import all the files from the tkinter library. Okay, yeah. So this is how, right? Okay, first, and then next. Okay, as I said, we need to create, first thing that we need to create is a main window, right? A main loop. Okay, so main loop. Okay, so in order to initialize main loop, right, we have to create a tkinter class. Okay, this is second step that we need to do. So we need to create, right? So the first step is we need to create, okay, a main loop variable, right? So for this, what I will do is, so we need to right, have, or we need to create, okay, we need a tkinter class variable. Okay, so we need to create a tkinter class variable, or an object of tkinter class variable. So okay, what I do is I'll call this as, let's say, root. Okay, any name you can give. So I'm just okay, let's say app is equal to, so whatever, right, you can give any name. Okay, you need to create an object of tkinter class. Okay, so the tkinter class is tk of this. Okay, so this basically, tk is a tkinter class. Okay, so you are going to create an right, I'm going to create a object of tkinter class. Okay, right, and then, okay, so main window, or sorry, okay, you need a main loop. So app dot, so whatever the name you give, same name we have to use, app dot main loop function. So this is a function, so main loop, right? So app dot main loop, okay, is to be written. So these are the, right, this is the starting point of your program, and this is the ending point of your program. So everything, right, whatever the GUI you want to build, you have to write in between these two. Okay, in between these two lines. Okay, so you cannot write after this main loop. Okay, you can not write before the tk. Okay, tk class. So these are the starting and ending points of your GUI. Okay, remember this point clearly. Okay, so whatever I write, okay, I have to write it in between these two. Okay, right. So yeah, so this is what basically it has to be. Okay, right. So let us run this. Okay, just we now, right, using these two commands, we already have created a simple GUI. Okay, so let us run this. Let's run this and see what we will get. Okay, yeah, so you could see, right, a small graphical user interface have been popped up. Okay, so it doesn't have anything, so as of now. Okay, so therefore right, it is not doing anything. Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay, so whenever you create, right, whenever you write these two lines, okay, so tk, right, start, okay, it indicates the, it's a right, you are creating an app of tkinter class. Okay, app is an object, right, of tkinter class. So it basically initializes this. Okay, and then, right, you want this app to have a main loop which runs continuously. So this is the starting point and this is the ending point. Okay, so this is the thing, right? Now let us add some more right, elements. So yeah, if you take any GUI, right, as I said, if you take a GUI, okay, we will have certain, right, objects, okay, or widgets, okay, the components. Okay, so there are so many types of widgets. Okay, there are so many types of widgets that are there for specific applications. You can have reading of data, writing of data. Okay, you can have displaying of images, text files, everything. Okay, so there are so many kinds of widgets that are available. Okay, yeah, so we will be discussing a few basic of them here. Yeah, so first of all, if you want to display anything onto this, okay, right, okay, so let's say if I want to define the size, okay, of this. Okay, so we can use this type of thing. Okay, so first, if I want to define the size, okay, so we will go with, right, a command called as, okay, so geometry. Okay, so let's say, so we use the command called as app dot, okay, geometry, right, app dot geometry. So just click, right, and give the size. What is the size you want? Okay, so you want the size, let's say I want, okay, so 1200, okay, into 1200 into, yeah, so this in sorry, just a second, give me a second. Yeah, so 1200 1300 into 1200, or whichever the way you want, okay, so into, okay, 1200. So this is how, right, I give the value of geometry. Let's see what it does now. Okay, sorry, bad geometry specifier, it says, okay, right, no issues, we'll have this. Okay, so I have used capital X, okay, sorry, capital X, small x. Okay, let's see this. Run this. Okay, so now you can see the size of your GUI. Okay, so the size of GUI is almost your right feature size. Okay, so this is how you can decide the geometry of your right GUI. Okay, so this is how first we can set the right geometry, the size. Okay, so whatever the size you want. Okay, so let me change this. So let's say 800 x 600. Okay, so now you will get a simpler GUI. Yeah, so we can see, right, this is the first thing. So setting the size of your graphical user interface UI. Okay, next I want to give the name, right? So let's say the title. Okay, so I want some title to be given to this particular thing. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so yeah, so these are the things. Okay, so I'll copy it here. Okay, and I'll show you how it is to be done. Yeah, so first of all, this is a variable. Okay, I'm creating a variable and it is a tuple type. Okay, so we discussed that this is right closed parenthesis indicates it is a tuple type. Okay, so you cannot change. So I want it as to be Times New Roman, right, and the size of the font is to be 14, and I want it in bold color. Okay, so let's delete all this. Okay, so yeah, so what is that you want, right? So here, okay, so label is basically, right, label is a command, okay, or is a method, right, which is used to display fixed information, okay, on the GUI. Okay, so label basically, right, refers to, right, label is a widget, or it is an object in the GUI, okay, which will be right displaying something on the graphical user interface, right, and it is not it cannot be modified. Okay, so I want label, right, and I want to add this to my function. What is the function here? App. Okay, so app is the function. Now I want to okay, what should be written here? Okay, so as I said, label is share the coding and checkbox also simultaneously. Okay, I'll share it, not an issue. Okay, yeah, so this right, we want text here. So yeah, most of the times I'll be writing, right? Yeah, I'll be writing, madam, you can try it. Otherwise whenever I copy paste, I'll write it. Okay, yeah, so title, okay, label, right, you want what is that you want? Okay, so let's say, okay, so hello participants, that's what, okay, let's say, right, I want to display. Okay, so right, so this is my title to the the app that I want to, okay, the GUI that I want to interface. Okay, so this is the title. Okay, title is just, right, it's not a function, it is just a variable. Okay, right, it's just a variable, you can give anything, right, you can give anything. So it is not a function, it is just a variable. So in that variable, right, we are calling that, okay, it is a label, right, label is a keyword. Okay, it is a function, right, or a widget in the GUI, in the tkinter library, which creates a label on the right GUI screen. Label means some kind of text to be displayed, which cannot be changed by the user. Okay, so that's what, right, this thing is. Okay, so label text is equal to hello participant. Now right, these are the things that okay, right, so any variable dot configure. Okay, so configure is the function by which you can configure or you change the parameters or the attributes of this variable. Okay, so here I'm writing the background color as okay, BG stands for deep sky blue. Okay, so I want the background to be deep sky blue. I want the foreground to be white. Okay, white. Okay, then the font. Okay, so what is the font you want? The font, okay, right, so you want it to be Times New Roman, you want it to be the font size of 14, and you want the text to be bolded. Okay, then what should be the height? Height should be, right, this label should have a height of 3 pixels. Okay, 3 here indicates the pixel, and the width of the label is 120 pixels. Okay, and where do you want to place this? So I want to place it, okay, as if you look at this as x-axis and this is the y-axis. Okay, so I want to place it at right, x equal to 0 and y is equal to 5. So it starts from here, x equal to 0. X equal to 0 means right, immediately, right, at the top. Okay, and y is equal to 5 means a small spacing from here. Okay, so let's run this, right, let's run this and see how it goes. Okay, yeah, so this is what, right, it looks like. Okay, so okay, I have my GUI, right, I have my GUI. So background color is what we wanted. Background color, we wanted it to be right, deep sky blue. Okay, and we wanted the text to be white. Okay, we can give any other color as well, red, green, whatever you want, right? And then okay, so this is what it, okay, it looks like. Okay, so this is how we can right, give the thing. Okay, so this is, right, my, okay, thing. Now let's say I want to add another, right, okay, so I'm showing simple example. Okay, yeah, where is my GUI? Yeah, it is there created. Okay, right, next what I want to do is, so I want, let's say I want, okay, so here I want to take the name of the participant, okay, the mobile ID, okay, or mobile number, and email ID. Okay, so I want to take 3 details from the participant, or you could say, let's say we have allotted, right, each participant with some username and right, okay, let's say password, and upon entering of that, okay, so we have to, right, say whether something access is granted or access is denied or something. Okay, so you want to print some information right there. Okay, so we have to take the data from the user. Okay, and once we click it, okay, we have to perform certain action. Okay, so let's build such kind of GUI, simple GUI, then we'll go ahead with other things. Okay, so in the process I'll show you the different objects that we can use. Okay, right, so next thing that I want to do is, yeah, so let's say I want to take the right information from the user. Okay, so I want to take the information from the user. So first I have to tell the user what I want, right? So for that, okay, let me take a label. So as I said, right, whenever you want to take some data from user, we have to use label. Okay, so label, L should be capital LBEL. So you can see label, right? So okay, label, right now okay, we have to add this to our right, GUI. So let's call this as app is our GUI. So right, we want to add this. Okay, and we want to, right, label is used for printing the or conveying the fixed data or fixed information to the user. So what is the text I want to display? So I want to tell him enter, right, enter your name. Okay, so this is what I want to print. Now where do I want to print this? Okay, so here, right, okay, so we can do it in 2 ways, right? So one way is this. Okay, so placing x is equal to 0, y is equal to 5, you have placed it here, right? So 5, okay, so x equal to 0 means it starts immediately here, and y is equal to 5, so after 5 pixels it is starting. Okay, yeah, so we have seen that. Now next thing is, now you can see, right, we have, okay, height of 3, okay, and width of 120, right, pixels. Okay, so the width of this is 120 pixels. Okay, so that is your title. Okay, your title is right like this. So the width of the title is, or this box is 120 pixels. Okay, the width of the title is 120 pixels, and the height of the title is 3 pixels. Okay, so after this, right, we just need to place it somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here, right? So for that, okay, yeah, we can use this right, packing method or the grid method or any other geometrical shape, right? Yeah, so we can place this, right, label at wherever we want. Okay, right, or we can use the grid method. Okay, so first I will show you how to place it using this way. Okay, and then later on I will show you how to use the grid method, simpler things using the grid method. Yeah, so dot is not required here, so we need to give some name to this. Let's call this as, right, okay, name is equal to, so this, okay, right, now you put it here. Now you call this name dot place. Okay, name dot place. So where do you want to place it? Let's say x is equal to, okay, x is equal to 10 after 10 pixels, and I want y is equal to, let's say, after 200 pixels. Okay, right. So let's see what this happens, or how does this run. Stop and rerun. Okay, it was running, it was okay. Yeah, you could see this way, right? So now you have, right, enter your name. Okay, so this method will be a little odd. Okay, this method of doing things will be a little odd. So what we do is, okay, so we will write, okay, now you can, the other way of doing things is the grid method. Okay, so how is that done? Let's see. So we have, okay, we can remove this also, we don't need this. So dot, okay, so I'll write grid. Grid is a function inbuilt method that we can use it for creating the grid geometry. Okay, so grid means, as I told you, it's a two-dimensional geometry. So you can see, just a second, give me 1 second. Yeah, so basically my app, I want it like this. So I have my app here. Okay, so first I want, okay, a grid geometry. So here the title is already done. Okay, so we want, right, the user. Okay, so let's say like this. So okay, so here I'll write enter your name. So enter your name, and the user will enter his name, okay, here, and enter, let's say, enter your mobile number. Okay, so enter, user will enter his details here, and then we want, right, enter your email ID. Okay, enter your email ID. So these are the three things that I want to take from the user, and after entering his details, so we'll have a submit button. Let's say we want a submit button. Okay, so when we submit, okay, what is the operation that we want to perform? Let's see that later. Okay, just we want to create a GUI, okay, which is having like this. Okay, so simple structure like this. Okay, yeah, so this is what the GUI we want to create. Okay, yeah, so let's do that. So let's close this. Let's close this GUI. Yeah, so let's go here. So as we can see, so we want a grid of, okay, so 1 2 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so here always the right, the indexing starts from 0. So this is 0, this is 1, okay, and this is 0, right, 1, okay, and 2. So this is how it looks. Okay, so we want a grid structure having 2 rows, 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, and then we want a submit button at the 4. So this also should be taken as another row. So third row. Okay, so this is how we can do. Okay, there is no fixed definitions. You don't need to define the dimensions. Okay, at the time of creation, you can just go on adding. Okay, yeah. So let's go to here, grid, right? So row is equal to, so you want this element to be present in the 0th row, and the column is equal to, okay, row is equal to 0 and column is equal to 0. Okay, right. So this is how we can create it. Okay, just run this. Oh, sorry, it got here. Okay, so enter your name is displayed here. Okay, fine, no issues. Okay, we'll discuss this later. We can just take out all this information, yeah, before that. Okay, I'll show you how to create the headings later. Okay, later stage, right? Next, okay, I again want another right, similar kind of thing. So we want 3 labels, right? So you want it at row 0, column 0, row 1, column 1, column 0, and row 2, column 0. Okay, so you want 3 layers, okay, 3 labels, right, like this. So let's run this. Okay, so here you go, enter your name, right? Okay, all of the 3 have been same, right? Enter your name, enter your mobile number, okay, and enter your email ID. Yes, so these are the 3 things, okay, we got, right? Now we want the user to enter, right, his details. Okay, so for getting the data from right, users, okay, so we have a command called as entry, right? So okay, this is the function, okay, that we have in the tkinter library, which is called as entry, right? So entry is a method, okay, in the tkinter library that allows the user to enter the data, right? Okay, so let us create those, right, objects or widgets. Okay, so each of them is called as a widget. So we have the entry widgets here. Okay, so let's say entry entry of, right? So you first add this to your app. Okay, so first statement will be adding this to the app. Okay, next is what we want the user to enter, right? So okay, user to enter, right? So we don't need to give anything else, but okay, just we should, right, have a box where the user should enter. Okay, so therefore, so for creating a box, so I give the box width is equal to 50 pixels. Okay, and then the border, right? So I'll say the border size. Okay, so there is a command called as border width. Okay, so yeah, we can use this. Border width is equal to 5 pixels. Okay, so I'm not doing anything, so I'm just creating right, a method called as entry, a widget called as entry. So this entry widget, by default, it will take, right, the variables or data entered by the user. Okay, so you just need to add this to your GUI. Okay, so first statement, first thing, argument in any, right, of this method is this, right, GUI that you are building. Okay, so you have to add this to this GUI. Then the width, okay, the width of this box, I want it to be 50 pixels, and the border width is 5 pixels. Okay, that's it. Okay, now we have to place this box. Okay, so where do I want to place? Okay, so again, grid, right? So you can see here, where is that box that we have? The box is available in row 0, column 1. Okay, so for using enter, so row is equal to 0, comma, column is equal to, right, 1. Okay, so this is what, right, okay, our entry will be for the name. Okay, next, let's say I'll copy and paste it. So because I want 3, right? So right, enter your name, enter your mobile number, enter email ID. So row 0, column 1, row 1, column 1, and row 2, column 2. Okay, so this is how, right, we want. Okay, so yeah, let's run this and see what we have. Yeah, so we have, okay, created, so 3 boxes. Okay, you could see this is a box of 50 characters, 50 pixels. Okay, and you can give the data here. Okay, so these are the user entry boxes, so we can give our, right, data here. Okay, so let's say, right, I want to enter my name. Okay, Mullah Zahir Ahmed, you could see I'm able to enter my name. Okay, So I can enter my mobile number, I can enter your email ID, right? So done. Okay, what else, right? After this, okay, yeah. Now, next thing is, so after entering, what is that operation you have to do? So let's say this is like a login page for a user. Let's say login page to the participants. Okay, so we can, right? We can give it like this. Okay, so okay, so let's say yeah, so we want after entering the details, we want the user to submit. Okay, so for submitting we need a button, right? We need a button. Okay, so there are so many types of buttons that are available in the right Tkinter. So but this, we'll take the simplest of the type. Okay, the simplest type of button. Okay, a push button, which we call. So let's create a button. So for creating the button, right, we use the command or the method that is called as button. So button, sorry, yeah, so there is this Tkinter. So button, okay, button off. So you first need to add this to this right, okay, variable. Then next so what is the text you want to display on the button? Okay, so you have to tell that. So text is equal to, so text is equal to, so it's an inbuilt method, that's why the color is right, convert changed into different. So text is an inbuilt water. So text I want to display, so submit, that's it, that's what I want to display it on the button. Okay, yeah, so I have written what I want. Okay, then next, where to place this? Okay, so we want to place this button at the right down. Okay, so that is row 3, okay, and column 0, column 0. So let's say grid of, right, rows equal to 3, rows equal to 3, comma, column is equal to 0. Okay, yeah, so here you can see there are 2 columns, right? Okay, so but we are using only 1 column, so the submit button will be at the uh, at one side. Okay, but you want it to be in the center, or you want to right, express it to the total space. Okay, right, so that can also be done. Let's see first how does this look like. Okay, then we'll discuss that, what I'm saying. So yeah, now look at this. Okay, so you have created your GUI. Okay, so you can enter, right, your name, right, your password or mail ID, or and then click the submit. So this button is also available. Okay, so this is present here. You can have it here or you can have it here, right? We can change the submit button wherever you want. Okay, right, so this is right, how it looks like. Okay, right, I hope it's understood. Okay, yeah. Yeah, any doubt in this until this point? Yes, any queries till now? Okay, yes. Let me see. Okay, right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, now we have created a basic right interface, right, with these things. Okay, right, now here one thing. So once we push this button, right, once we click on this button, there should be some action that has to be performed, right? Okay, so you are doing nothing here, just pushing the submit button, right? So but you want some action to be performed whenever you click on the button, right? So for that we can do it. Okay, we can do it right, okay, by calling a function whenever this button is inserted. So that's the most important thing, right? So whenever you're building a GUI, okay, so you want some operation to be performed whenever you click something, right? Okay, so how can be that done, right? That is done with the help of callback functions. Okay, so callback functions allow you to perform some operation whenever, right, you click on something. Okay, whenever you click on the, right, some kind of operation. Okay, so let's say, right, okay, yeah, so callback. Okay, you need a function. So for that, what we do is we have to link this with something called as command. Okay, sorry, see, yeah, just a second, there is, there are other, syntax. Yeah, so this is the function command. Okay, so command is equal to, right? Okay, so what is that you want to do, right? So for that, what I'd say is I'll call a function. Let's say I'll call a function on click. Okay, so whenever, right, whenever I click on the submit button, okay, so I will call a function. Okay, what does this function do? We'll define that, right? See here. Okay, here. So okay, so I have to, right, yeah, define this function. So def, okay, on click, on underscore click. Okay, so let's say, okay, so this is the function. So now the error is gone because on click has been defined. So what is that you want? You want print. Okay, so let's say print. So you want some label, or you want some, you can print some data. Okay, I'm just taking one simple example, okay, so that we can understand. So whenever print happens, okay, so what it does is it will print, right, thing. What is that? Let's say your you welcome. Let's just print welcome. Okay, welcome to FDP. Okay, welcome to FDP. That's what you want to print. Okay, so whenever he clicks on the submit button, right, we want, okay, just to print one simple word. Okay, that's called welcome to FDP. Okay, so let's see, right, how it works. Okay, so run this. Yeah, so this is what you got. Okay, so I'm entering my name just to show you what it is. Okay, so I'm not doing anything. So my phone number, let's say, okay, and then let's say some mail ID. Okay, so something you can give anything. Okay, zahir@gmail.com. Okay, so just press submit. Okay, now see here, whenever we have submitted, okay, we got the output in the command prompt. Okay, we have not got the output in the GUI, but instead we got the command output in the command prompt, because we have not connected this print, right? Print function is not connected to the GUI. It is instead, it is written freely. So okay, so therefore this indicates, right, this basically, okay, we'll print the data, right, on the command prompt. Okay, so this is how. So whenever we click submit, right, okay, every time we click on the submit button, right, okay, you will display the print function. So welcome to the FDP. So that means this on click, right, function that is on click will be executed. So in the same way, you can map, right, you can map, okay, this each button to whatever the functionality you want to implement. Okay, so whichever the functionality you want to implement, you can map it, right, with the help of this command. Okay, command is the keyword by which you can do it. Okay, so this is how you can create a simple GUI. This is just a simple GUI. Okay, wherein right, I have just shown you the basic functions. Okay, so how to display some information on the GUI, how to take the input from the user, okay, and how we can create the buttons, okay, and how we can right, map the buttons to the functions. Okay, so let us illustrate it more with the help of one simple example. So I have a couple of examples, right, to discuss. So I'll first take a very simple application, that is a building of a calculator, a simple calculator. Second, I have a right, I personally use one GUI application called as right, the maintenance of my journals and conference data, right. Okay, so in order to maintain our right, conference and right, the papers that we publish. Okay, so in one frame, I have a simple GUI developed for that. We can okay, I'll show that both right, today. Okay, so let us right, go ahead. Okay, yeah, so any doubts in this thing? Okay, so is everything clear? Yeah, if you have any queries until this point, you can please raise. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and we'll create a simple calculator. Okay, yes. Okay, so let's go and create a simple calculator. So I'll take another how can we place the submit button in the grid? That's what you can simply write dot grid, madam. So button right? After button dot grid row is equal to, so where do you want this?
Sir, actually we need to place it in between, in the center of the grid. Below we have placed in column 1. If you want to place in between the column 1 and column 0.
Okay, so that's what you're asking. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I understood. So
Yes.
for that, okay, we have a function called as column. Yeah, column span. Okay, so this function column span. Okay, let's say this column span is, so you want to merge two columns, right? So we can give it as column span is equal to 2. Okay, right? So column span is equal to 2. Okay, so if I do this, you'll see the result. Okay, the difference in the result. Yeah, is that what you are asking, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So you can do this. Okay, right. So this is what, okay, simple explanation, right, is about the Tkinter, right, graphical user interface. Yeah, anything else? Yeah, let me. Yeah, okay, right. So let me next go ahead and okay, let us continue to build a simple calculator. Okay, yeah. So for that, I'll take a new Python file. Okay, let's call this as calculator, whatever the name you want to give, and center. Okay, so I have my calculator file. Okay, so first I think this right, calculator application is a very basic application, right? I think you can try along with me, right, with me. Okay, so what we want is, let us just limit ourselves, okay, to one function. Okay, we want to just add, right? Okay, so the interface. Okay, so first let us decide our interface. So I want this kind of interface. Okay, so first I want, right, to see whatever the right, in order to display whatever the buttons that I press, okay, the data that I enter, okay, digit or the values that I enter. So I need a, right, I need a label. Okay, so this label will show me what the data that I'm entering. Okay, so we need a screen, right? And together, so for a calculator we'll have a screen. So this screen is what basically, right, we call it as a label. Okay, so we want a label here, okay, at the first place. So this label should display, right, whatever the operations, whatever the data that we are giving, and whatever the operations that we are doing. Okay, right. And apart from this, right, I need, okay, so I need the digits. Okay, so let's say, okay, I'll take 3 columns. Okay, so right, 3 columns, and so I'll start with 9, 8, okay, 7. Okay, then I want the digit 6, 5, 4 here. Okay, and then 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's say, and finally here, okay, I'll have 0, right, and here I'll have plus symbol, which indicates for plus operation. Okay, I can add other operations as well. So but I'm simply taking one simple example. So here, let's say I want to clear, right, I have a command for clearing the data. Okay, and then here I have the equals to symbol to show the result. Okay, so there is nothing data here. We can add more functions also. So plus, minus, everything can be added. Okay, so this is how my calculator GUI should look like. Okay, so this is what we should have. Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3 columns, so 0 to 2. So then rows, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I want 5 rows. Okay, so 6 rows, sorry, 6 rows, so 0 to 5. Okay, and 3 columns, 0 to 2. Okay, so this is what it is actually. Okay, yeah, so this is the thing, right? So basically here, right, we have a place for displaying our data. So this place is basically a label, but this label, instead of displaying a fixed information, it should display whatever the right output of the button that you have pressed. Okay, so if for example, if I let's say press 5, so 5 should be displayed here. Okay, and if I press 1, so then right 5 and 1 should be pressed. Okay, 51. So let's, okay, whatever we want to press, okay, whatever we press, that should be right displayed here. Okay, and if I press equal to, the enter of the result should be pressed here. So this is how, okay, let's say our, okay, GUI have to work. So this is a label, right, label. Okay, and this label will display whatever the information that the user presses, okay, or user the button that user presses. Okay, so I need a label, and then I need, right, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and 11 12 13. So 13 buttons are required. Okay, so we require 13 buttons. Okay, right, and we require one label. Okay, and there is no right, nothing required from the user entry. Okay, we don't need to enter, right? The user entry here is done through the pushing of the buttons. Okay, right, and we need 2 functions or 3 functions we need to perform. We need a function for addition. Okay, so we need a function for addition, we need a function for clearing the data that we are displaying, and we need a function to calculate the result. Okay, so these are the things that okay, we have to do. Okay, so let us build a GUI for this kind of thing. Okay, so I'll write the code, okay, and I'll explain it one by one. You can also simultaneously try, right, on your system, and if you face any difficulty, you can always stop me. Okay, right. So yeah, so I hope you have understood the right interface. Okay, right. So first thing, okay, so first thing that here, right, we have to do, as I said, whenever you want to create a GUI in Tkinter, the first thing that you need to do, you need to build, right, okay, you need to write 2 commands. So the first command is you need to initiate or initialize the Tkinter class. Okay, and the second command is, right, you need to initialize the main loop. Okay, so your program should start with the Tkinter class, and your program should end with, right, the main loop function. So yeah, so here I call this as calc. So calc is my name of the app. Okay, so you can give it you can give your own name. Okay, so tk, okay, Tkinter, right, class. So I want Tkinter class, but here it is showing as error because we have not imported the Tkinter library. So import, right, Tkinter, sorry, so from Tkinter, yeah, so Tkinter, right, import. Okay, you want to import everything, so we can import everything. Right, now the error is gone, so we have initialized. Okay, right, and then we'll have the main, right. So as I said, so first you have to give the name, so let's say calc dot, right, main loop. Okay, so this is the ending statement, right. So this statement will be executing whatever the code you have written, right, on and on. Whenever the program is run, you will create this, right, like this. Okay, so this is what, right, your okay, thing is, right. Yeah, now let us just go ahead. Okay, so first yeah, okay, so yeah, so first I will take the entry block. Okay, so label, in place of label, I will take the user entry block. Okay, so here, yeah, one correction you can make. So as I have told you, this is a label block. Okay, but because label is unmodifiable, so we will create a label with entry block. Okay, so entry block to be used as a label. Okay, because this value has to be changed, right. Label will display the fixed data, so you want, right, an entry block to be working as a label. Okay, so let us do that, right. So for this, I'll assume one variable e is equal to, so entry, right, and sorry, entry e should be capital, entry, right, of, so write the function. So what is the first thing that we should have calc. Okay, so calc is the thing, and I want the width Okay, so width is equal to, okay, width is equal to 35, right, comma, okay, border width is equal to 5 pixels. Okay, so this is what I want, right? And you can directly place dot grid here and write it. Otherwise, we can also write it like this: e dot grid of row is equal to. So I'm right, giving the geometry right separately. So column is equal to 0. So I want it at the top, and I want, okay, the column span. Okay, so because I want it right throughout the top, so I want it as column span is equal to. So we want totally 3 columns, so we can give it as, right, 3. Okay, right, and you can also give some spacing, right? You can give some spacing after x, so we can say add x. Okay, so for earlier it was starting right from right 0. So let's say I want to start it from 50, so after some space. Okay, so this is what right I have. Okay, just click on this and run this. You will see what it, yeah, this is what I was saying. So earlier it was starting here, now it is starting here. Okay, so we have not defined the geometry, the size of this calculator. Okay, so we have not decided, so it will then automatically be setting it. Okay, so it will automatically set it. So 50 pixels from this side and 50 pixels in this side, and the width of 35 pixels in the middle. Okay, so that's how it right does look at this. Okay, yeah, okay, right, now let's close this. Okay, so first we have created, right, a display, right, okay, for our right operations. Okay, all right, next we want, what is that? Next we want to create buttons. Okay, so we need to create buttons. So let's say B1. Okay, so button, yeah, sorry, for button for displaying 9, let's say. Okay, button 9 is equal to, okay, button of, okay, so you want to add this to calc, so calc, okay, comma, right. Okay, so what is the text you want to display here? So text is equal to, I want to display on the top of it as 9, comma, next, what is that you want? So you want some spacing, let's say. So pad x is equal to, so these are pad x are commands for giving spacing. Okay, so otherwise also you can give, but there will be no right spacing between the different buttons. Okay, so these are basically for giving the spacing between the buttons. That's it, nothing much about it. Okay, so pad y is equal to, okay, let's say, let's give another, okay, at 20. So I'm giving the spacing between two buttons in the x-axis as 40 and in the y-axis as 20. Okay, and then, right, when we press this, so there should be some operation that should happen. Okay, so command is equal to, so I don't know what operation to be done as of now, so just let me leave this as Okay, so I'll tell you what we have to do later on. Okay, so I'll just leave it as as of now. Okay, yeah, so this is what right, it is showing error because is nowhere defined over. So that's what the error is, but you don't need to worry about it. Okay, so let's take this right, and we have to give the spacing, sorry. So grid, okay, so grid row is equal to, comma, column is equal to, okay, yeah, so I'm left it like that. So because we can copy this and we want just to create buttons, right? So 1, sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So we want 13 buttons. So this is what, right? Okay, that is. So this is the button, okay, for displaying 8. Let's say it is for displaying 8. So you want it to be 8 here, same thing. Now 9 should be displayed, okay, 9 should be displayed in the first row and 0th column. Okay, so right? 8 should be first row, first column, and 7 row should be first row, second column. So let's give those values. Row is equal to 1, column is equal to 0, okay, and row is equal to 1, column is equal to 1, okay, and this is row is equal to 1, column is equal to 2, okay. So these are the 3 that in the first row. So let's just give a small spacing so that we will right, yeah, have a clarity, okay. Right, next we have for 6, right? So button for 6, button for 5, button for 4, okay. So this should display as 6, and this should display as 5, and this should display as 4, okay. So these are simple stuff, okay. You can right, do it by yourself. So row 2, column 0, okay, and then row 2, column 1, okay, and row 2, column, right, 2, okay. Yes, so this is how, right, we have, okay, for this. Next, let's go ahead. So 3, okay, 2, 1, sorry, 3, 2, 1. So this will come in the next row, okay. So row 3, column 0, okay, row 3, column 1, right, and row 3, column 2. Yeah, so done, okay. So you got, right, like this. Next we have, okay, for a button for 0, so we want button for 0, so this should come in the center, okay. So row 4, column 1 will be the center, okay, right, and it will display, it should display as 0, okay. So here it should display as 3, here it should display as 2, here it should display as 1, okay. Right, next button for addition, so I can say button add, okay, button add. So this should display the symbol of plus, so I'll just give plus here, so plus, and this should be coming in 4th row, 0th column, okay. And next we want clear, so CLR is to be displayed, okay, and this is button for clear, yeah. So row 4 and column 2, yes, right. Finally we have okay, one more button, and this button is right, for your equals to, so button EQ, okay. So this should be displaying, right, I want, okay, equal to symbol, okay, and this should come on 5th row, right, second 5th row, and column 1, column 0, and you can say, because this we want to be the entire one, so we can say column span is equal to 3, okay. Right, and I don't need this particular button, okay. Yeah, so this is how our button looks like, okay. So if you remove the command and run it, then you will see the structure, okay. You will see the structure. If you run this as of now, it will give us error because there are no commands that are written, okay. So commands are not written, so that's the reason why, okay, it's not it will not give any result, it will throw an error, okay. You can run it, okay, run it, and see that there will be a lot of errors because there is, right, WM, whatever you have written, it's right, or WM is showing the error, okay. Right, so let us okay. So what is that we need? We have created the interface, whatever we wanted. Just now we need to map these interfaces to the functionalities, okay. Yeah, let us do that, okay. Yeah, for before that, any queries from this side, okay, till now? Yeah, so otherwise we'll go ahead. Just give me 1 second, I'll just take one right now. Yes. Thank you. Okay, thank you, madam. Now, right now, let us map the thing that we need to do whenever we press this button. Okay, right. So for that, okay, yeah. So let us understand how it has to work. Right. Firstly, so we need to get the function, okay, or get the number that we will enter, okay, right, and that has to be given for right, or that has to be displayed on the right insert whatever the entry screen we have, okay, the enter place command where we have, okay. So how is that done? Let's see. So we'll write a function, okay. So def, okay, we need to define a function. So this function, okay, I'm calling it as number underscore input. Sorry. Yeah, number underscore input. Okay, so this is the function name that I'm just giving. You can give any name. So I will take one argument. So what is that? What is the number you are entering? Okay, so number you are entering is the argument for this. So I'll write, okay, so I want to take the number input from this. Okay, yeah, so okay, yeah, let's write the function. So current value, okay, so current value. So there is a built-in command called as get character. So this get character will be right, okay, inbuilt function in the tkinter library that works with this entry. Okay, so if you just hover on this, okay, so hover on this entry command, okay, so here you could see right documentation. If you go for it, there will be right a getC function. Okay, so I'm going to use that function. So we will be using e is the variable that I have declared here. So e is the entry. So right, I'm going to take the value from this. So e getC is getC of the value that is entered. Okay, yeah, so this is the function. Just a second, it's e dot get, yeah, get. So this is the function that you get. Okay, so right, this is the current value. Okay, so understand here why I'm doing this kind of thing is, so see, when a user presses some value first, let's say, okay, yeah, just a second. Okay, a simple thing here. So if first, right, if I want to enter 51, okay, so what I will do, I will first enter 5 and then I'll enter 1. Okay, so what this has to do, so first 5 will be entered, okay, right, yes, it is taking the 5, okay, then the user will enter 1. Okay, so now if I display these two, it will get displayed as 15, not 51. Is it right? So first 5 was entered and then right, you have entered 1. Okay, so if you display them in the normal manner, right, if you treat them in the normal manner, what will happen, right, the number will be taken as 15 rather than 51. Okay, so therefore what we need to do, so first whatever the value that is entered, okay, that should be stored. Okay, so that should be stored, and then you take the current value, right, and this current value will be concatenated. Okay, so this the first user, whatever the data enters, it will be considered as a string. Okay, you are considering this as a string first. Okay, you take this as 5 as a string. Okay, now if you enter 1, right, this 1 will be appended to the 1, okay, to the string that is already there, so it will become 51. Okay, next if you enter another value, let's say 3, so that 3 will be right again appended to the right already existing value, so it will get appended at the third. So in order to right and hold the whatever the input you are entering, so that is stored in the form of a variable called as current value. So I'm going to store this right present input in the current value, and then append this value to the previously existing string. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, so I will insert this value into the previously existing string. Okay, and then I'll store the result. Okay, so that's what, right, every time you're going to do it. Okay, is this okay? This is what, right, I'm going to write the program here. Okay, so I want to display whatever the number that is entered by the user. Okay, but the user is not entering the number, right, at a time. So he will press, let's say, one digit by digit. Okay, so whatever he is pressing, right, all those values have to be concatenated and stored and produced as a final result. Okay, so for doing that, we are writing this function. Okay, so what is this? So def, right, number input. So you are going to enter some number, that is the input to this function. Now we will be, right, okay, whatever has been entered from the entry function, that will be stored in the current value. We get that and store it in the current value. Then the entry will be updated, so you will delete. Okay, you will delete whatever the previous contents are there. So 0 to end. Okay, so you will delete the previous value that is displayed, and now you insert, that is you update this. Okay, you update that particular, right, screen with a new value. What is the new value? New value is, right, it's a list. Okay, list of strings, list of characters. So what are the characters you want to display from the starting, right, 0 to, right, okay, so str, okay, str string of, okay, current value, string of current value, current. So you have stored it. Okay, you have stored it as current value, string of current value. Okay, plus, so concatenation, plus indicates concatenation, string of the, right, string of, okay, number that was there. So number is a variable which was already there. So these two, okay, sorry, str has to be written, string is not acceptable. Okay, so str. Okay, so, right, understand this thing very simple, right, very it's a simple concept. So okay, whenever a user presses some command, what is that we want to do? We want to, right, display it on the screen. Okay, but those, for displaying them, right, we have to have the correct order. Okay, ordering is very important, right? So for creating this order, what we are doing is we are converting these numbers into strings, and, right, so first when we enter, let's say 5, number will be equal to 5. Okay, the current value will be equal to 5. Okay, and then right, it will be displayed. Okay, then if I enter 1, okay, so what I will do, I will add the current value, that is 5 plus 1. Okay, so concatenate these two, so 51 will be displayed. Okay, then if I enter 3, right, the current value is 51. Okay, so the new number will be 3. So, right, current value, okay, that is 51 plus 3 will be executed. Okay, so in this manner, whenever you press some button, okay, automatically the data will be taken. Okay, and the data will be executed. Okay, so displayed on the, right, your screen. Okay, so this is the function that we are going to do. Okay, right, so this function has to be done for all the buttons. Okay, so let us right, update the command. Okay, so yeah, so command is equal to, right, command is equal to, I'm going to call, right, the function that we are giving. This is the function. What is this? Number input. So take this, copy this. So this function has to be called. Okay, this function has to be called, right? Okay, so even if it is defined, it is giving you error because, right, Python executes sequentially, so you should have this function defined before calling it. So copy this here, Control X, and paste it here. Okay, yeah, now it is no, it doesn't give any error. Okay, so now what is the number you want to enter? Number we want to enter is, right, 9. Okay, so this what, now the string 9 will be displayed. I think here there is a one problem with this. So right, this function has to be defined as an anonymous function. Okay, so what are anonymous functions? There are certain functions which right, are called as anonymous functions, right, doesn't return anything. Okay, So there is a big definition for that. So but let's not go into this. So we have to define this function as an anonymous function, and that can be done with the help of the command called as lambda. Okay, so lambda, right, is the keyword by which we can declare the function as an anonymous function. It's just a type of function. You don't need to worry about anything. Okay, so it's just a type of function. So this is what it is. Okay, yeah. So let us take this. Okay, so command is equal to, okay, let's take this and let's paste it in all the buttons. Okay, so command is equal to lambda number of, so this time I'm going to give input as 8. Okay, next let's update all this. So command is equal to lambda of 7. Okay, next command is equal to, okay, of 6, right, and then yes, okay, right, next command is equal to 4. Okay, yes, we don't need to by heart anything here. Okay, we are all just using the by default libraries. Okay, so that's the reason, right? If you know the logic, right, how to do it, okay, then if you just have the structures, right, if you know basic structures, okay, Python programming is very easy, right? So you don't need to remember any syntaxes, right? All the syntaxes are inbuilt. Okay, yeah, so this is done. And for 0, right, you have for 0, so command is equal to, right, even for 0 you have to do the same thing. So what does this function do, right? Whenever I press this button, right, for example button 9, then automatically 9 will be passed to the function. Okay, so 9 will be passed, right? Okay, now 9 value will be stored in the current value. Okay, and then you display, first you clear the display, and then you concatenate the present current value with the string value. Okay, whatever you have given. So because current value is 0, right, string value will be 9. So 0 plus 9, 0 and 9 are concatenated, so 9 will be displayed. Okay, next if you press 5, okay, so 5 will be the in the number. Okay, current value will be 9, so 9 and 5 will be there. Okay, so right, those two values will be, okay, concatenated, and you print 95. Okay, so or you show 95. This is what it happens. Okay, so yeah, we are done with the buttons. Okay, now we have to right, that is displaying of the digits. Okay, all the digits are being displayed. Okay, next thing is, so we need to perform, right, whenever we press plus, okay, and equals to and clear, right, we need 3 functions for defining these 3 operations. Okay, so let us right, call them. Okay, so I'm def. Okay, so okay, yeah, I need right, first I need to clear, right, I'll write the clear function. So we need to clear values, so let's call this function as clear values, okay, of, right, colon. Okay, so what is that we need to clear? Okay, so first we need to know what is there stored, so I'll take a variable. So let me call this as list of numbers is equal to, so I'll take a empty list. Okay, so whatever the numbers that we have, those numbers are, right, stored in, yeah, is equal to, right, an empty list is taken. Now we need to clear that in the empty list. So let's take it. Okay, list of, okay, sorry, list of numbers, number is equal to, okay, list of number is equal to, so sorry, you want to clear, right? So we have a default command called as clear. Okay, so clear function, right, everything will be cleared. But here and here it is not matching. Okay, maybe we need to, No. Just a second. Maybe the variable names or yeah, just I'll say list num. List num. Scroll. Yeah, just with the names so that they match properly, and that's it. Okay, right. Okay, so done, right? So you're just clearing of the list, whatever the data that is there, everything is cleared, and you want to clear the screen also. So screen is nothing but, right, E. So I'll write E of, okay, clear everything from 0 to end. Okay, so this is what, right? So clear operation should do. Okay, clear operation should right, take out all the variables or the numbers that are stored. So you're deleting that, and you're also deleting the, right, this screen. Okay, so E whichever whatever the input you have taken, that is also cleared. Okay, so now let us map, right, the clear button with this. Okay, so where is the clear button? So we have clear variables function, okay, to be mapped. Clear variables have to be mapped with the clear command. What is the clear? Where is the clear command? So yeah, here it is clear here. Okay, so put it here, right? So the function gets mapped. Okay, right? And because you're not giving any arguments, you can just write like this. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so clear button is also done, right? Now next that we have to do is, so the next thing is we want to define the plus. So when plus is entered, okay, so what is that we need to do? So we need to specify the sum of variables. Okay, you need to add the values, right? So for that, okay, I'm writing the function def, okay, sum underscore of underscore sum of values. Okay, right, and it doesn't also take any input, so just write as it is. So here I want to store number one, num1 is equal to, okay, e get of, sorry, e dot get of. So whatever is in the screen, that value has to be stored in the num1. Okay, and then this num1 has to be, right, updated with the list of numbers. Okay, so list of, that means when you press one plus symbol, okay, so first value will be taken, then you press the first symbol, plus symbol, okay, that value will be, right, stored into the list, and you will ask for the next number. Okay, so that's what you are doing here, list of numbers. So the same variable that we have taken, okay, dot, right, numbers dot append. So you have to just add this, right, number num1 to it. Okay, right, yeah, any code in the WhatsApp group. Okay, okay, but I am not an admin in the group, so whatever I write here, okay, at the end of this I'll share it in the chat box. Okay, okay sir, so I'll just copy this and I'll paste it in the chat box. Okay, yeah. Right, so this is what, okay, we have, right, okay, and then we just need to delete the screen. Okay, so just delete the screen, e dot, okay, 0 to end. Okay, so understand the thing, right? It's a simple logic. So whenever plus symbol is indicated, whenever plus symbol is pressed, okay, so what will happen? Okay, we will have, right, we have to first store this number. Okay, so from the screen you are getting the value and you're storing it in the number, and then this number is appended to the list of numbers. Okay, right, and then you delete the screen and you will wait for the next number. Okay, so that's what the operation that we are doing here. Okay, so this is what, right, the plus symbol will do. Okay, so let us map this. So take this function sum of values and give it to the command here. So when I press symbol, okay, I'll get like this. Okay, so this is the thing, right? Okay, now right, we are done with two things. Okay, next thing is, so when we press the right equals to symbol, okay, the last function. So if I press equal to, what should happen? So def equals to, so equals, okay, that's a function name I'm using. You can give anything. So equals, right? What is that we have to do? So again, we have to take the number. So num1, okay, is equal to, okay, num1 is equal to, so e dot get. Okay, so this is the function that we are exclusively using, right, for getting the data from the screen. Okay, from the getting the data that is present on the screen. Yes. Okay, then next, list of numbers. List of numbers. Append of numbers dot append. Okay, so you want to append this to the list. So I'm writing list of numbers dot append of number1. Okay, then next, what is that I want to do? Yeah, so here, okay, one thing that I would want to do is, till now our data is in string format, so we want to convert this into integer format. Okay, so right, I would do the typecasting. Okay, so typecasting, I would convert this into integer. Okay, so int of num1. Okay, so now we are performing the addition. Okay, when we press equal to, we should perform the addition. We'll take the number, we'll store it in the list. Okay, and then we'll convert that into, okay, next we delete off. Okay, so we'll right, first delete our screen. Okay, so delete command is used for deleting the screen. Okay, right, and then next we will perform the simple thing. Okay, so for that, okay, I'll take one variable. So sum, we have to calculate sum. So sum is equal to 0. Okay, initial variable. Now we'll perform, right, for values. Okay, so a for loop in the list. Okay, so for all the values that are present in the list underscore list of numbers. Okay, you just add all the numbers. That's what you have to do, right? So for all the values in the numbers, so what you need to do? So you need to add them all. So sum plus is equal to, okay, sum plus is equal to, okay, right, so values. Okay, the value that is present, right? So whatever the value is there, that will be added. Okay, and right, added up to this. Okay, so this is what the thing is. Okay, right, and finally, okay, we'll insert this onto the screen. Okay, so we have to insert that in the screen. Okay, so that is e dot insert, whatever the value you got, finally you insert or you display it on the screen. So 0 comma, right, so string of, so again, now again I'm displaying the sum as a string. Okay, so sum of string. Okay, yes, so this is the right function which will perform the addition. So you take the sum first, initially you take it as 0, right? Next you just add the value of values. Okay, each value, this is a for loop which will repeat. Okay, which will take each one, right, each value of the thing that is present in the list, and need to add it to the things. Okay, so that's how, right, you are performing the addition. So this is the function you are performing when you press the equals to button. So let us take this, let's take this copy here, and I'll plate it here. Okay, so I have done, right, all the functions. Okay, so first I am taking the, right, an empty screen. Okay, then I'm creating buttons, 10 buttons for the 10 symbols. Okay, then I'm mapping them to the screen with the help of this number underscore input. Okay, then I'm calling the 3 functions. Okay, we can include as many functions as possible. Okay, you can have plus, minus. Okay, so all those things, right? So okay, just for simplicity, because the time is running out, I've just taken one. Okay, right, so this is what the thing. Okay, right, okay, let me run this. Okay, before running this, so I would want, right, you to check your program. Okay, so right, okay, this will work, right, right, but before that, you you can check your right execution. So I'm just copying and pasting this in the chat box. Okay, so for those who want to do it simultaneously, yeah. Yes, but is it got, did it got no. Okay, so I'll do one thing. This file is not completely updated. I think it's the okay, we'll do one thing. Okay, so up to button 3 it is present here, and the rest of the program I'll okay, so from here I'll upload it again. Yes. Okay, right, so this is it. Okay, yeah, so I have uploaded, I have put the right entire program into the chat box. Okay, but because it is not possible for one single message, I have put it in 2 messages. Okay, right, so yeah, so I want all of you to execute. Error for button. Okay, we'll just check if there is any problem. Yeah, and what I would want is, yes, of course, it will give some errors, or if it might execute or it might give errors, but I want you to solve those errors, then only you will learn. Okay, I'll solve it, no issues, but try it on yourself and try to solve what is the error, where does it go, and see if there is any syntax error. Okay, it will throw, right? Python will automatically, for example, if in place of lambda, if I write like this, then it is giving me error, right? So we can do it. So there is no, right? Okay, there is no problem with the syntax errors almost. Okay, there might be some simple errors mismatching. So try to solve, okay, on yourself. Otherwise, I will also try to solve. Okay, yeah. So let me run this. Yeah. So I have got my right calculator. You could see. Yes. Yes, madam. Have you entered the values, madam? Okay, so okay, right. Let us check. So let's give 5, 6. So 56. Okay, plus so 25 and error. Yes, so there is some error. Okay, sum is equal to values for, okay, everything is working very fine. It is showing everything it is giving. Just there is one command that is giving me errors. What is that? Okay, so that is here in the function sum for n is equal to, so I have written in integers. So what is this saying? Okay, unsupported operand for int and string. So yes, okay, maybe here. Okay, I'll just give, right. Let's just check. Okay, it's just a matter of checking yourself. Okay, let's run this again. Stop and run. Okay, I'll give 65 plus 21 and error. Again the error comes. What is this error? This is inequals. Okay, so yeah, here it, so for, yeah, that's what I was also looking for. Yeah, thank you, madam. Yes, this will do. Right. Okay, now let's run this, rerun it, stop and run. Okay, it's already entered. Yeah, yes. So, okay, let's give me 25 plus 20 is equal to 45, right? So it's working, okay? So you could see, right? We have designed a simple calculator. Let's say, so I will clear all this. So clear button, 100 plus 25 is equals to 125, okay? So in this way, we can also add other functionalities, okay? The logic is important, right? The logic is important, and that's what it is. And you can give, right, a name to it, okay, above, and you can resize this. Everything can be done, okay? So this is right, a thing, okay? Yeah. Any other queries in this? Okay, so I'll because the time is running out. Okay, yeah, sorry. I'll just give the overview of the second thing that I would want. Okay, as a practice for you. Okay, you can try with this. Okay, I've also developed a TikTok toy as a game. Okay, so I have that code with me. Okay, if possible, I'll share, okay, in the group, okay, through Vasu sir, right? Otherwise, what I want you is, I will give an assignment for you, okay, which you can work on later. So this is a GUI, okay, so which I want to develop. I want you to develop, okay. So what is this GUI is? So here we are going to have, okay, so a data, right, from the right, you could say the publications details of your right, department, or for yourself also, okay. So let's say we will take, right, we will take the title of your paper, okay. So there is a title, okay, and an entry box to enter your title. Then the author's details, okay. So I want, right, an author details to take here. Then the venue or where it is organized, okay, so will be present here, okay. Then we will say ISBN, right, ISBN, okay, right, and then date, okay, date of publication, where it is published, okay, and any other, right, category, you could say, whether it is conference or journal, okay. So you can right, choose, okay, whether it is conference, right, radio button, this is called as a radio button, okay, conference or journal, okay. So these are the details that you want, okay. You can explore the tkinter library for this, okay. So otherwise, in the afternoon session, I will tell you, okay, how to create this other details, yeah. So let's say these are the things that we want to take, okay, and then we want, right, all this to be added to the list, okay. So let's say at the right, we have a list, okay. So right, okay, like this. So these are the details, okay, and these details are to be added, okay. So you have a list, right, list box, okay. You create a list box here, right, in which all this will be added, okay. And there are certain options, right. You have add entry, you want you have an option to add a new entry, okay. So if you want to add new entry, you clear all these details, right, and do this again, okay, right. You can search for other details, so search entry, okay. So you can have a box here, you can give the details, and you can search for that. So this is just an advanced version, okay. Right, and you can have, right, all the details entered, and you could say update the entry, okay. So update the entry to the list, okay. And then you can also say delete the selected, okay, delete the selected. And then finally you can have close the right, application, okay. So these are the tabs that we want, and whenever we say close, we have to stop the execution, okay. So automatically Control C should be pressed, that's what it has to happen, okay. So these are the things, right, that are present, okay. So this is right, the simple GUI you can create, right, okay. With this, right, you can store the details, okay. So you try on yourself. If not, we will see in the upcoming sessions, on the afternoon session, okay, how can we program it, okay. Yeah, so that's it from my side, okay. So I hope you have understood how to create GUIs. So the basic methodology is this. Okay, the basic methodology I've thrown. Okay, I've thrown you over you. We can have display of images. We can have display of right, various types of buttons. We can use a lot of things. Okay, but because the time is not there, I've not shown, but you can explore them, right? You can explore the right Google website and learn all of them. Okay, yeah. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for your kind cooperation. Thank you for your patience listening. Okay, hope this session is useful for you. Okay, so thank you, sir. I'll just hand over to the organizers. Yes, sir. Okay. Hello, can I have the organizers? Okay.
Jai sir, completed. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. We will meet at 1:30, sir.
Okay, sir. Sure. Right, sir.
Okay. Thank you, all the participants. We will start. Again, we will meet at 1:30 p.m. Thank you all.